Greetings, Universal Orlando fans. It's time for the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Hello!
Welcome to the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
This is episode 19. I'm Darren.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Lee. Right, nothing much to announce?
Nope, just voting finished at the European Podcast Awards, and we're waiting to hear if we made it through to the second phase, so thank you to everybody who voted.
And of course, thanks to everyone for listening. Other than that, the only other announcement we have to make is that we have a competition for this show, and it's a lot easier than the last one. So stay tuned to the outro for information on how to enter.
That's right. Right. Let's let everyone know what's coming up on this show then. Oh, hang on, before I forget. Have either of you two... Well, I know you have, Tracy, because I played it for you the other night. Darren, have you heard of a podcast called Wicked Happy Fun Time?
I've heard of them. I have not listened yet, but I'm excited to.
Right, well, you need to listen.
Yes.
They approached us this week because they've been listening to us and asked if we fancied doing a mutual promo, and I thought with having Leonard Kinsey on this show, I thought what an ideal show to promote someone that, let's be honest, most of their podcasts have an explicit rating. So I will warn anybody, but yeah, go and check them out. It's
they're well worth it. Cheese
and Bombs, they're called. The two guys. So it's really just them talking about random stuff, but it is very funny.
Oh yeah,
it is hilarious. So go and check them out. They're on iTunes. I assume, or you can go to the website, the wickedhappyfuntime.com.
Excellent.
So please go and check them out and tell them we sent you.
Yes.
So that'll be cool.
And let us know what you think of them as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, we're going to start the show, as we always do, with the news.
We will. And then we're going to invite Leonard Kinsey, the author of The Darkside of Disney, onto the show.
Did I hear you say Disney?
Yep, you did. We'll have to wait to see what he has to do with us.
Mm-hmm. And we will finish up with the contact information.
Sounds good to me. Right, let's get on with it.
Right, so I'll head straight into the news this month with This Month in History. Now, it's actually a double episode.
Yeah,
the
I
belated
forgot to
November
put it in
one
last month.
Yes, and we kind of forgot about it as well, so we didn't remind him.
No.
So it's not just Lee's fault, but it's mainly Lee's fault. Anyway, let's head into November's history first of all. So on November the 9th, 1996, Ghostbusters Spooktacular closed. Well, we've never seen it, but I would have loved to have done.
I know Darren loved it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favourites as a kid.
It'd be interesting, like you say, because before we started recording, I said there that they are supposed to be making a third one, whether they'll ever bring anything back, because have they actually taken out the facade from the New York Public Library at the end, or is that still there?
I'm pretty sure that's still there.
It's still there.
I think they've took the Ghostbusters badges off it.
They have. They've done.
Yeah.
They were gone the last time we were
So
there.
it'd be interesting to see whether they would bring something back when the new film comes out.
I think that Universal need to open a third park. Universal Retro. Put all the old rides in, all the old favourites. I would go to a retro park.
I definitely would be there.
That'd be pretty cool. Like loads of people talk about King Kong and have real fond memories of it.
Yeah, gutted we missed out on that as well.
Mention the other one yet?
All right. Shh. Right. So let's move on anyway. November the 11th, 1996. The Screen Test Home Video Adventure closed.
Darren, do you know what that is?
I know what it is, but I didn't actually ever do it, so...
Mm-hmm. So 2 days the same year.
Yeah.
Or in 3 days. Yeah.
Having a bit of a, let's close that down, and then, we'll close that down as well.
You know, I believe it was in the New York section as well, so it might have been part of a big revamp in that area.
Sounds like a possibility. And finally, on November the 5th, 2007, Earthquake the Big One closed.
It did, but it only for a revamp.
Yes. Well, you haven't put that down, so...
Well, no.
Yes.
And I quite like that. I've ridden both versions of that. Which do you prefer, Darren?
The new one's pretty good. I do like the new one, of course. Christopher Walken being on there, and the technology they used to project him onto the stage is pretty amazing. So
I like it. I like The Rock, and I know a lot of people don't. I think they possibly could have picked someone a bit more, I think, like, relevant. He's not now, is he really? I think he should be, because I really like him, but it just give it a bit more of a lease of life, and I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah.
It was better than it was.
I'll be honest, I can't remember what it was like before.
There
Don't
wasn't
remember
much to it, really.
much about it.
I think
Yeah,
the
they
big...
did. Well, they still had the video thing at the beginning, like where everybody shoots a video, but it was a lot shorter than it is now, and it was just a couple of segments in one room.
But again, the thing I like about that is there's a team member involved. It's slightly different every time you do it, depending on how the team member reacts to the people that he's picking for the section, which always makes it better. It's it is a different experience every time you do it.
Anyway, this is news.
I know.
Being bossy.
Discussion as well.
I know, but we were going off on one. So that was November in this month in history. Let's move on to this month, December. Now, in December 2000, the annual Grinchmas event began in the park's Zeus Landing area.
I really want to see Grinchmas.
I want to do Grinchmas. Darren, have you been to Grinchmas?
Nope, that's the one thing I haven't done there. So
Yes, we have to do it then. It's not fair on the listeners if we comment on something we haven't done.
Okay. I won't comment on it then.
Let's get a petition together because I want to do Grinchmas.
Okay.
I'd love to be there for Christmas. Right, so moving on. December 2002, Macy's Holiday Parade debuts at the park.
Now, we know Darren's been involved with that.
Yes, we do.
Official balloon handler.
Yes.
that's right. I can handle any balloon.
That's pretty cool.
That is quite awesome, that, actually.
It is.
Yeah, definitely. So remember, if you're there during the parade, if they come up and talk to you, talk to them.
Definitely.
And do participate, because it's a great experience, and they do take care of you and make sure that you get to see everything in the park before you do it. So
And make sure while you're walking down the street shouting, Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. Have to get a t-shirt.
definitely.
We all need t-shirts.
We do.
And finally, December the 13th, 2010. After 5 years, Triceratops Discovery Trail is finally reopened to the public for a limited time, speculated to further remain seasonal during peak season.
Which it has been. I think it was open spring break this year, wasn't it?
It was.
And I think it was open in the summer for a bit.
Yes.
Darren, have you seen that?
No, to be honest, I had no idea.
Go on, sorry.
Oh no, is that the one? I mean, is that the one where you actually see the Triceratops?
Yeah, the
like,
big
sitting
audio
there in the middle?
animatronic thing. I mean, I've seen it on.
Oh yeah,
It looks amazing. It does look really, really good.
Fantastic.
I saw it my first visit, but when you're walking through there, there's no real clear marking as to where that is.
Yeah.
So I think on subsequent trips there, I just haven't even noticed it to go see it.
Well, that's it. It must be well hidden away because it's never been open when we've been there. And it's not even somewhere you can walk past and go, oh, that must be where that is.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll do it for this month in history.
Right.
So,
and after that, of course, comes New Year's. On December 31st, Universal Orlando Resort guests can ring in 2012 at one of the hottest parties of the year, and that's a Universal City Walk's New Year's Eve celebration. As the clock approaches midnight, partygoers will rock out to live concerts by Smash Mouth and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
I've heard
Really
of Smash
digging back-
Mouth.
Yeah, Smash Mouth.
Yeah, really digging back into the 90s on both of those.
Yeah.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy was like a big band kind of band. They're actually pretty cool.
They seem to be around in Orlando quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did they not do Mardi Gras? They might have been at Mardi Gras actually at Universal.
It's possible. Like I said, they do like they're like a big band, but they do have kind of like a New Orleans twist, being their name Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah. I think that's probably what it was then.
Yeah. So you can go to those concerts, dine on gourmet cuisine, and dance the night away at some of Orlando's best nightclubs. The night will begin with a performance by contemporary swing sensation Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, who recently released their 8th studio album, How Big Can You Get? And that's a tribute to Cab Calloway.
Who?
Right.
Cab Calloway?
Never heard of him.
Really?
Okay, enlighten me. You heard of him?
No.
No, go on, Darren.
Yeah, he's a kind of classic jazz singer. I mean, wow. Okay, you need to get on YouTube and listen to some Cab Calloway.
Hey, it's not just me.
Get some culture in you.
Yeah, if it's jazz though.
Sorry, everyone, I don't know who he is.
Ignorant
Yeah.
Brits.
I mean, jazz is really American, so I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Michael.
Probably not as big over there. But their signature big band swing sound has captivated millions of fans and been featured in television, sitcoms, films, and even reality shows like Dancing with the Stars. With hits like Go Daddy-O and Mr. Pinstripe Suite, their breakout music sound will send guests swinging to the dance floor.
Wait, you can tell where this came from.
Yeah. I feel like I'm reading something.
Yeah.
I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head, though. To top off the celebration, multi-platinum rock band Smash Mouth will hit the stage with their non-stop party vibe and hits like Walking on the Sun and All-Star. With more than 10 million albums sold, Smash Mouth has brought new life to popular classics Can't Get Enough of You Baby and I'm a Believer, which was featured on the Shrek motion picture soundtrack.
Which fits in... Go on, you were going to say it, weren't you?
Yeah, which is why they're there.
Of course, it fits in perfect.
Let's just say it, yeah. Smash Mouth continues to play headlining events across the country. Maybe in bars, and is currently working on their 6th studio album. In addition to live concerts by some of today's most popular bands, guests can enjoy access to 7 of City Walk's hottest clubs, including City Walk's Rising Star, The Groove, and Red Coconut Club. Partygoers can also indulge in an all-you-can-eat gourmet cuisine and decadent desserts, and raise their glass to 2012 with a midnight champagne toast and celebratory confetti burst.
I tell you what, I bet it's quite a good night
I
there.
bet the atmosphere is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The
Where
problem
did
is with that for me though is I'd want to be in bed by 11 o'clock.
Where did they have the concerts in City Walk, Darren?
They do have like kind of like a staging area out by the water. Like as you walk in there,
When you come
and
to the tea
there's a big open pavilion too. Actually, so there's a stage. There's actually an actual like stage set up there as well. As you go up and around towards the Bob Marley Cafe and that kind of thing.
City Walk is just a blur
because
to me
we've walked
because we
past where there
normally
was
just...
because it was like a I can't think of the word, big wooden structure, but open at the same time. There was loads of chairs underneath it, so there's obviously something going on the night we were there.
Yeah, so they've got that, and then like I said, they've got an actual stage set up there as well with a huge dance floor kind of thing right in front of it. So.
Cool.
They've got the space for it.
Yeah.
And so the tickets for that, admission to Universal City Walk's New Year's Eve celebration includes access to both live concerts featuring Smash Mouth and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, all-night admission to 7 of the Universal City Walk's hottest clubs, and all-you-can-eat gourmet cuisine, including filet mignon, jumbo shrimp, and decadent desserts, and a midnight champagne toast as well. It says if it's purchased by December 15th, it's going to be $119.99 plus tax, and if purchased between December 15th and December 31st, it's going to be $139.99 plus tax.
Do you know, I don't think that's a bad price at all.
Okay.
For all of that, I don't think that's bad.
No.
So, no, I
Two
really
concerts, the nightclubs.
Yeah.
And those usually
Feed
are
your face.
Yeah, those usually do charge cover for each.
I was going to say, there's usually a cover, so
like $10 to $15.
Yeah.
So
if you hit all 7,
which you have to do, right?
well, of course.
Yeah.
That's 7 covers. Maths is failing me. What's that? That's over $100, isn't it? Have I got that right?
Yeah. So you can just consider your food and champagne free.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, filet mignon and jumbo shrimp's not exactly cheap, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
So yep, and that celebration takes place from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. or till 11 p.m. for Tracy. For more information or to purchase tickets, go ahead and visit universalorlando.com/holidays and click on the New Year's Eve at Universal City Walk button on the left.
Hey, she's not kidding. When we did Halloween Horror Nights, it shut at 2 o'clock and we had to come away at 1.
What time had we been on the go since? About
We've
7
been in the park since 9:30 in the morning, man.
My feet gave out. That's the only reason I crawled back to the car because my feet collapsed.
It was a long day. We went to Universal at 9:30 that morning, so we were like 18 hours in a theme park or whatever's a long time.
Yeah, you got to do marathon training before that.
Yeah. I think I wore out my trainers that day.
It was worth it though. There's a pretzel on the
was.
way back kept me going.
Right. I've got a little fun section here. Now let's face it, we all love a fun fact or three. So here are a few about the parks we all know and love. Right, let's start with the studios. Many of the structures and facades in Universal Studios, Florida, are modelled after sets from famous movies and television shows, including Pretty Woman, The Godfather, and The Cosby Show.
I used to love The Cosby Show.
Yeah. Now, I am ashamed to say I have never actually looked for these places.
I wouldn't know what they
Right.
look like. New York looks like New York, doesn't it?
Well, The Cosby
Yeah.
Show is very distinct. The big sweeping stairs up to the big black double
I
doors.
can't honestly remember. It's that long since I've
Oh,
seen
that
it.
old. Pretty
Yeah, I
Woman.
wonder if they're marked at all there at the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yes, there's one fact for you. Hollywood's Rip Ride rocket features 3 of the world's first manoeuvres. The double take, which is the world's largest non-inverted loop.
Which I still find an amazing feat of engineering because it's huge
twists,
as
isn't it, as
well.
it goes round?
Yeah, it goes sort of round and then twists over the top. It's bizarre.
Yeah. So you go inside, outside, inside.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very clever. There's also the treble clef, which is a track built in the shape of the musical symbol, and the jump cut, which is a spiraling negative gravity move.
Now, that's a weird one to get negative. I mean, you obviously got 0G rolls and stuff, and then ones where you get like plus Gs, but how can you get negative gravity? What's more than 0G? Or what's less than zero
That
gravity?
is like suck you out of your seat.
Anybody?
And you just float.
What is less than zero gravity?
NASA, come and answer this question for us.
I don't really understand that one. I'm going to have to research that one because
Yeah.
I don't.
I think that might be what makes everybody uncomfortable on that one, though.
Yeah, Lee will come back to you with that.
I will. I'm going to
Yeah.
research that. I want to know what a negative gravity move is.
Now, sticking with Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, did you know that the music-based treble clef manoeuvre was first sketched out on a paper napkin?
No.
Me either.
Well, I did because I wrote this, but
Haha. Pardon me.
that's a weird. Is that a fun fact that it was written on a piece of whatever?
You don't know what it was written in?
Right, yeah, I don't want to know.
Ketchup? You never know.
Or blood, probably more likely.
Moving on. Shrek 4D marks the first time that a film's original cast and creative team have united to produce an attraction based on an animated film.
See, that seems really weird when you think of the amount, like in Disney and Universal in general,
Right.
that it's
yeah,
the
all
first one that all the cast of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite cool. And many of the Egyptian hieroglyphics decorating the walls throughout Revenge of the Mummy spell out real words and warnings to visitors. So brush up on your hieroglyphics, people.
yeah.
I know there's Kong references in the hieroglyphics, isn't there?
Yes.
And there's bananas and things within the hieroglyphics, and Kong himself and such like. And finally, for the studios, there are 24 instantly recognisable Springfield characters, all voiced by the original actors that appear in the Simpsons ride. 24 of them, that's...
There's one person who's not
Oh, I
in there,
know,
because isn't there? Because
there's-
Jim Hill told us that there's one that wouldn't do it.
Yes. Because wasn't it, the money wasn't right.
Yeah, it was. Who does? Is it Harry Shearer?
Harry
Does
Shearer.
Mr. Burns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is a pretty glaring omission in there
Yeah.
right now. I
It
haven't
is.
thought about that.
Yeah. So let's move over to Islands of Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Not as many fun facts, unfortunately, for this one. But for the first time in theme park history, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man combines moving, motion-based platform ride vehicles, 3D film, and live action in one revolutionary ride. The new Transformers ride at Universal Studios Singapore uses similar technology.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fun fact, really?
Okay.
It's more just a fact, isn't it?
Sorry, what were we on about?
Spider-Man.
It was
This
the
is a
first
fun
one to
fact.
do all that in one ride. That's pretty...
Well, that's
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
And let's be honest,
It's a cool
it is
fact.
amazing.
Now, when it was built, the thrilling 85-foot plunge at the end of the Jurassic Park River Adventure was one of the highest water descents ever built. I still think that's a good plunge anyway in the water rides. It makes up for the rest of the rides.
Dudley Do Right seems higher, though.
Is it not?
Obviously not.
It's steeper, so maybe that's why it seems higher. And the fact that you're going under.
Yeah, maybe.
What came first? Did they both
Chicken
come
or
at the
the
same
egg?
time?
I would have said so. The park's been open.
Yeah.
The park all opened
Yeah, they
together,
were both
didn't it?
open.
So they're all
Didn't Dudley Do Right
Yeah,
open
so-
a little?
they're
no,
all
it didn't.
opening attractions.
No, it opened on time. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
complete,
finished.
was it?
But
They
they
never
all, the
completed
whole
it?
park, nothing. The only thing that's new in that park, ride-wise, is the High in the Sky Zeus Trolley Train ride.
So, thanks for that little link, because now I'm going to lead into Zeus Landing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Dr. Zeus never drew straight lines in his illustrations? Everything was curved, slanted, or wonky.
I love that word.
Wonky. It goes well with donkey.
Wonky donkey.
Thus, there are no straight lines in Zeus Landing.
That's one everybody
So-
knows, isn't
Of course it is, but it's fun.
Yeah, I noticed that. So, I had read that one somewhere. So last time I went, I like paid close attention to it, and yeah, you cannot find a single straight line anywhere.
Because
Yes,
I know
you
that.
can. Yes,
Where?
you can. On the doorways going to the stores.
Oh, whatever.
Oh.
I love the way that the even the trees in there
Well, they
are
imported them
hurricane
specially,
damaged,
yeah,
aren't they?
the-
So they're all bent
the
and
bottom.
twisted.
Specifically because of that. And that's it for my fun facts this
That was
time. I should
quite
try
good,
and
I
find
like
some
that.
more for next time.
Well, yeah, we have an idea, don't we, Tracy? We've had an idea about possibly.
Expanding.
Yes.
Since we were talking about Dr. Seuss, thought I'd toss this in here because I found this earlier. The Grinch was actually on Ustream for Universal, answer questions for all the bad girls and boys.
It was, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You can go on Ustream and search Grinch chats. That'll bring up just a couple of videos. It'll be pretty obvious which one is the big green guy. And yeah, that'll bring up the video that they recorded while the live chat was going on. You can still check it out, and it's a really good watch. So you should definitely check
It
that
is.
out.
I watched it the other day. Shall I say this when I was at work, and I probably shouldn't have been, but it is really, really funny. I'd forgotten all about that. Thanks for bringing that in, Darren. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yep.
It was pretty cool.
It was
video.
good. It is funny.
Yeah.
The guy playing the Grinch he's pretty good,
Excuse me,
actually.
what?
Sorry,
That's
the Grinch. Yeah,
Thank
whatever.
you.
Jim Carrey. So, right, I'll go in with the next one then, and it's entitled Harry Potter Going to Hollywood.
Wow.
Now, apparently Universal Studios is planning to build a replica of its successful Florida Harry Potter park in Los Angeles. And this has been said by people who are familiar with the matter, but not authorised to discuss it publicly, naughty boys. Now, I know this hasn't been officially confirmed, because I was briefly talking to Jim Hill the other day, and he was still waiting for official confirmation of it. So it's still... It seems it's speculation rooted in... like definite, but nobody's officially announcing it yet. So apparently a contract between Comcast-owned Universal and Warner Brothers, it is being finalised and should be done within the next few weeks. So obviously keep your eyes open. Now the new attraction is expected to open in Hollywood no earlier than 2015, which is a long, what's that, 4 years nearly. 3 years, now, the remaining question is where would the Potter rides and shops be placed? Now, Darren, have you been to Hollywood? You haven't, have you?
No.
No, it's Hunter that's
I have
been to
not.
Hollywood. I know from reading bits and bobs about it that Hollywood's quite a cramped park.
Right, because the main thing there is the actual studio.
Yeah, the tram tour, isn't it? It's basically like what it's always been. It is a tram tour of a working studio. That's what it started off as, wasn't it? And the attraction, you go through the attractions as part of the ride, rather than like Orlando going to separate, like being a typical theme park. It's more the attractions are part of the tram tour.
Right.
Be interesting, but I know again it's like the whole Halloween Horror Nights thing gets brought up at that point, because it's a lot more horror orientated at Hollywood, at least of what I've heard. It's more movie based, which is quite interesting, because I'm not sure how J.K. Rowling would feel. We've discussed it on the show before, how she would feel about a horror event being associated with her franchise, which, I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Money's
anyway,
money.
that was I got that from the LA Times blog. But as I say, we're still waiting official confirmation. Right, I'm going to jump in. I've just checked out that jump cut for Rip Ride Rocket, and what it says on here that I've found: typically, a negative gravity maneuver is straight up and down, often referred to as a camelback. Instead, the jump cut is a spiralling negative gravity move, making it a first ever coaster maneuver. When you reach this point on the track, you feel like you are experiencing a corkscrew without actually going upside down.
Oh.
How the hell does that work?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to find the track layout of that and see where that jump cut is to see what it actually looks like.
Yeah. It all goes so fast when you're actually on a roller coaster that I don't think you'd be able to distinguish it.
That's quite interesting, that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, now go ahead and cue this sad musically, because the Jaws attraction and the whole of the Amity area will close for good on January the 2nd, 2012.
Ooh.
And it's set to be replaced by... Well, Universal said, hey fans, we want you to be the first to know Jaws in the Amity area will officially close on January 2nd to make room for an exciting new experience we're planning for you. We all know you love Jaws, and we do too. It has been an amazing attraction, and after terrorizing the waters of Amity here at Universal for the last 20 years, it's a very important part of our history. So we've got a couple of things planned to ensure we always remember and honor it. We know it's hard to say goodbye, but we can't express how excited we are about the new, innovative, and amazing experience that we're going to be bringing you.
All I'll say is it better be good, because people will jump on their backs if
We'll
it's
get
not.
there in a minute.
And they went ahead and sent out emails with the banner Jaws, the final voyage. Don't miss out on one final escape on January 2nd. One of Universal Studios' most iconic rides is heading out to sea the last time. In order to make room for an exciting new attraction, Captain Jake's Amity Boat Tours is closing, and we invite you to come celebrate with one final ride at Jaws. Come relive your favorite memories, and get ready to scream as the great white shark takes one last bite.
Relieve your memories.
Relieve your memories. Just leave them all in that lake there. You know?
That's a giant
They're going to be
pensive.
draining it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Now, the rumours of what's going to replace it are rife and have been since Friday.
Many rumours flying around.
I threw out Lord of the Rings there, because that's kind of what I was hoping for, I think.
Right.
But everyone knows the big rumours are Harry Potter, which... Transformers seems to be the one that a lot of people are expecting, but what I heard was whatever it's going to be, they're talking about it being from Disaster right round encompassing Fear Factor Live, and that is a huge,
big expanse
area.
Yes,
but the problem with Transformers is in New York. How do you theme? Are they going to? What area do you put in for it to be Transformers?
Well, Amity's leaving, so they can put whatever they want.
But
there.
that's what I mean. What do you put? You're not going to put another New York area. You've got one down the road.
True. Space.
Do they theme it to Cybertron then? Is that what they're looking at doing if they put Transformers in?
Who knows?
you know I'm not a fan of the Transformers idea anyway.
Dan Lambert actually posted on our Facebook page the video taken from the Singapore one. And it's... Anybody go and check out our Facebook page. Actually, it's a link. He shared it with us. It's not actually on the Facebook page. I'll see if I can find it and put it up there. And it is Spider-Man. Just Transformers. It's virtually the same 3D screens with the moving cars, and I mean it looks pretty cool. But it's like, are you going to have two rides in two parks next to each other that are virtually identical?
Yeah, I think they might save the Transformers for in case anything happens with Marvel and Disney.
That has been said as well. You're right. Now somebody
makes sense.
posted on Twitter or Facebook the other day. I think it was. Well, I won't say who it was. He heard that exactly that they were hanging on to that for when the Marvel deal went on. So the speculation then was, are Universal having behind the scenes talks with Disney about removing Marvel?
That's that rumour's been flying about for a little while, hasn't it?
Something's got to come of it at some point. Disney are going to have bought that company and just let it sit there.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
But as I was discussing with Tracy beforehand, another rumour I heard, or we heard, I don't know whether you've heard this as well, Darren, that Transformers was possibly going in where Terminator 2 is.
I'd be okay with that.
Apparently that's next on the chopping block.
When Transformers was first mentioned, we speculated about it going to the T2.
I think we did mention.
We did, and then we decided that maybe the area was too small.
But apparently there's quite a lot of land behind it. I also heard today, which would take a bit less retheming, somebody mentioned Madagascar, and apparently that's a boat ride.
Right.
The one that's in, is it Singapore? It's just opened, or it's due to open. Someone said it was
a crate ride because they had trouble with it.
A boat ride is what I heard. But then the other speculation is an expansion of the Wizarding World.
Yeah. Which we went and Googled.
Well, we did, yes. The link, the rumour was putting Diagon Alley in the studios and linking it by the Hogwarts Express. And as Tracy, we had a look at it, and Darren would explain it to you that behind where Jaws is, there's an area of land that's been cleared. And there's a big staff car park to the left. Yeah. Now, we speculated that could, the land they've levelled at the end could be where they're moving that car park to. Now, a rumour I've heard on Twitter and Facebook is that the reason they knocked down the hard rock, the old hard rock, because in between where Jaws is and the Wizarding World in Islands of Adventure are where the staff offices are. And the rumoured reason that they took down the old hard rock was to rebuild the offices there.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that would point to that being possible.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But then they did say new experience, but it's how you interpret the word new. New experience. Right. Technically, Diagon Alley is a new experience.
Mm-hmm.
It would be. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. I was also thinking maybe they could like block off the area of Harry Potter so that, I mean, if you're in one park or another, I'm just trying to think of how they do that to go in between the parks as far as tickets are concerned.
Yes, that was the big one for me. You know, they do a 1 day and a 2 park ticket. If you bought the 1 day ticket, that means you can only go in one park, or with the 1 park 1 day ticket. So what happens then if you go if you choose Islands of Adventure for your 1 day, go into Islands of Adventure and then, can we go to Diagon Alley, and go to get on the train, and they're going to go, sorry, you haven't got the right ticket.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes me think that's maybe not feasible. So I hope they go with my idea, and that's expanding Twister over to that area. Just have a whole Twister-themed area there. I think that would probably be the best for them.
Isn't Florida a whole Twister area 3 months a year?
Hurricane.
But, we're lightning. We're lightning and hurricanes. That's you gotta go to Kansas for the Twisters.
Ask my pen pal as a difference.
But going back on the Wizarding World thing, would they then just scrap the one day 1 park ticket and just charge, rather than double price, charge say it's like $82 for a ticket, charge $120?
That's gonna
for your 1 day.
Yeah, but that's gonna put people off because people who are budget who aren't gonna be able to afford that.
I don't think it would. People will find that money to go to both parts of Harry Potter. I don't care what you say.
In the current economic climate, are they going to risk that?
Yeah, I was looking on at TripAdvisor at some like recent reviews of Universal itself, and the most common thing I see is people complaining that it's too expensive for what you get.
Right, it's the same price as a 1 day 1 park ticket for Disney.
Well, I guess with the discounts and stuff you get at Disney, people were saying it's about $20 to $30 more.
Right.
So.
It's certainly going to be interesting. I will say, to add in at the end, that I spoke to someone today who I would class as a very reliable source, who told me that it's all been confirmed, or it's basically by her...
Spit it out.
By this person's sources, it's all but confirmed. But that's her story to break and not ours, so I will leave that at that. But it's certainly going to be an interesting few months.
As part of Jaws closing, we will devote our entire January 6th show as a tribute to Jaws, and we are asking you for your contributions. Please write or record us your reaction to the closure and your memories of the ride, and send it to unofficialuniversal@yahoo.co.uk, or post them on Twitter at UUOPodcast, hashtag RIP Jaws, or post them at facebook.com/unofficial Universal Podcast.
Well, yes, that we've got quite a lot in plan for that show. I'm really looking forward to. We've got at least one guest coming on, possibly another if I can get hold of him.
Yeah, I would really like
possibly three if I
listener feedback.
Yeah, I've got quite a few already. Actually, I've got quite a couple of emails, and quite a lot of people on Twitter have posted their reactions and memories of it and stuff, and quite a bit on Facebook. And
in fact, not only that, post us some of your favourite photographs on the Facebook page. That'd be great to see. We can have a Jaws tribute album.
That's a good idea. That is a brilliant idea. I know Thomas Wagner's posted tons on our Facebook page, and he is like the biggest Jaws fan in the world. He posted a video of when he'd come back in 1995. Head over and go and have a look at it, and he's showing all the Jaws merchandise he's got. He's got towels and pop-up toys and thermos mugs and souvenir mugs and all sorts of stuff. He's got some real pens, and he's got one of those pens with it, when you tip it with the liquid in it and the boat goes into Jaws' mouth. He's got
brilliant.
And he's posted quite a bit on there. But yeah, I think we'll devote an entire. It is the end of an era, really, isn't it? It leaves one classic ride left in the park. That's it.
Yeah.
I know they say you've got to
makes you wonder
move on forward.
If its days are numbered.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I know Hunter posted on our Facebook page the other day, and it was quite. I liked a lot what he said, that there's no reason why they couldn't have updated Jaws and brought it more into now. Disney have done it with Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion. Have proved that classic attractions can be plussed and still be relevant today.
Right, but at the same time, when they did do upgrade, when they did upgrade both of those, there were new franchises in the works for both of them.
Yeah, but does it have to be attached to a film? Does the film need to be relevant for it still to be an enjoyable experience?
Not necessarily, no.
But anyway, they've made the decision, and we shall wait with bated breath to see what they have in their up their sleeve. And we shall hopefully announce it here as soon as we know, as soon as it's officially announced. Now I'm going to jump in with a little one here, because you've got one still. Not Universal relevant, but just something I thought I'd throw out there. I heard it on a podcast today, and I thought it could be a bit of fun to put in there. That a Men's Health magazine on the website had posted the 100 saddest US cities. Darren, your little town sits at number 97.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a contention here in Florida over this whole Men's Health magazine. It's actually quite the news story, and they actually have my favorite city as the number one most saddest place, which is St. Petersburg, right next to where I live.
Right. Orlando is number 82. So do you believe that Orlando's sadder than Tampa?
Can we clarify what we're meaning by sad? Because in this day and age, sad has two meanings. Do we mean like unhappy?
Miserable,
sad?
yeah.
They mean like depressed. Yeah, they said they went by like number of antidepressant prescriptions that were given out in the cities, and like all this the kind of data that they put together. But I mean, they put a lot of places in Florida over like places like Detroit that are almost completely abandoned at this point. So I think something in their logic was a bit off, to be honest.
It's very interesting, though.
Like I think we're pretty happy. It's sunny here all the time.
I've never been. I've had miserable times at times when we've been there, but as a rule,
I was gonna say, anybody who lives in these sad places and really feel that you are sad, come and stay with us for a week right now.
yeah, I'll swap you. I'll swap you places any day.
Yeah. It's freezing.
But
And
yes,
snow's coming.
I thought that was quite an interesting,
Yes.
an interesting place. Fargo, number 3.
They're blues proof.
Fargo, where they're basically snowed in, like 75% of the year is happier than Florida. Okay.
Yep.
Something I've just found. Just a little snippet. Islands of Adventure now has freestyle Coke available in the Lost Continent.
Have you ever tried them, Darren?
Freestyle what?
The freestyle Coke machines.
Coca-Cola.
Okay.
After
Is it
having
our
Leonard
accent?
on, let's just... No, I'm saying, after
Yeah,
having
just
Leonard
a
on,
bit.
let's just clarify, it's Coca-Cola. Nothing Class A.
Right, Leonard's on after this.
Well, you can cut that out. Well, no, he's coming on. It's been...
Have you used the freestyle Coke machines, Darren?
Yeah, over at Richterberger, actually.
Yeah. Apparently they've been put in the Lost Continent. I'm not quite sure where it
There's no,
is.
apparently, there's a photograph there.
Yes, there is.
Look at my laptop.
It's, I'm not sure where they are. But yes, thanks for that, Tracy. That's interesting. I really want to try them and just mix some really nasty crap and see what it tastes like.
I suppose I need to get over my distaste of Coke then.
Every flavor soda.
Can you just have the flavours and not the Coke?
Yeah, well, they have so many different things you can do with that machine. Yeah, it's pretty obscene.
'Cause I really don't like cola.
100+ drink choices is what it says.
Yeah, because like first you go on there and you select like Coke or Diet Coke or Sprite or one of the Coca-Cola products. Then like it comes up with a whole subsection with like every flavor included along with it, like Sprite with watermelon flavor added or grape flavor added or whatever.
Oh my
and
God.
then it continues to progress through these lines, and so you end up with quite a few different combinations.
Right, we are trying
So
them.
there's going to be long queues because people are going to be going, there's too many choices. I don't know what I want.
Yeah, that does happen a lot. They actually have an attendant there to help you if you get shocked and you just you're stuck there. They'll help you out, push a button for you.
Yeah, just have that one.
Yeah,
Go.
grab it, Coke.
Well,
Yeah.
looking at the picture there, they also sell chips, churros and pretzels. Right, I ain't leaving that stand.
Yeah, that just seems like the perfect place to be. One of each.
Cool. Right.
Following recording of our news segment, Universal held a press conference at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yes, they officially announced that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter will be going into the Hollywood Studios park.
Yeah. Now, Universal haven't given any specifics, but did say that it'll be a themed area rather than the Hogwarts and Forbidden Journey ride initially rumoured to be going in. Also at the announcement, they mentioned Orlando.
They did. They announced that the Wizarding World in Orlando, wait for it, big announcement, will be greatly expanded. That was it.
Okie dokie. Again, no specifics were mentioned as far as timeline, where the expansion will be, or what it'll be.
Yeah, everyone knows where it's going. Or everyone thinks they knows where it's going.
It's the most logical, obvious.
It certainly makes sense. Everyone's going to put
Amity
two and
and
two
Jaws.
together. Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm sure we'll talk about this a bit more on the
Oh,
next
yeah.
show, but we just wanted to get in there as the announcement was made after we recorded our
Yes.
news segment. So, cool. Right, on with the rest of the show.
Okay, carrying on the show, we would like to welcome on our guest, and he is Leonard Kinsey. Hi, Leonard.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, Leonard.
Good.
Hi.
Hey,
Leonard's the author of the book, The Darkside of Disney, which came out... When was that, Leonard?
that was in August.
Just
Fantastic.
gone, yeah. And for those who haven't read his great book,
Fools.
and just a note, we all have,
Oh, yes.
would you like to tell everyone what the book was about?
Yeah, it's basically the subtitle of it is The Anarchist Cookbook of Disney Guidebooks. I think that kind of sums it up. It's like a counterculture, alternative take on the regular guidebook, like the Unofficial guidebook or Frommer's or any of those that you normally buy. It has all the information that they won't even mention, or if they do mention, they really gloss over it. So, just a lot of stuff about how to get cheap tickets from possibly not so legit sources.
Yeah, it's funny actually. You should going into that. We actually got approached on iDrive last time. We were there with someone asking us if we had any spare Disney tickets, to buy the extra days off us.
Yeah. And I'm, I do go into how sometimes that'll work. Sometimes, it's just not going to, you can buy those and you're going to get ripped off. So I kind of present both sides of it, how it might work out for you and how you could also get scammed. In that case, with the tickets, it's the same as it is for Universal. They do a finger scan. So it's possible that on a busy day, they'll do that finger scan, and obviously it's not going to be your finger or the person's finger that you sold the tickets to. And on a busy day, they might just press the button and let you through. But then again, they might not. So you could spend that money for those tickets, and you're out of cash. And I've done that myself, and it was pretty funny, but it was a no-go. So it was cash lost.
I know when we were there last time, didn't we? We never signed our tickets the first time we went to Universal, and we went to go over to Islands of Adventure in the afternoon, and obviously got all the tickets mixed up when we were trying to get through on tickets that obviously hadn't been registered to us because we had the two kids, and we had to go try each ticket with each person to work out which one was registered to which fingerprint.
But they were fine about it. They were great about it. Probably just those stupid Brits.
No, the same thing happened to us on our trip that we just had, and I was surprised by how long they were willing to take to get that sorted out. I mean, they really made us wait there till the scans worked out. So, of course, it wasn't very busy, but still, they were into it.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the book, there's stuff in there that obviously you don't advocate a lot of them, scams and ways of cheating the system, as it were. But there's a lot of legitimate hints and tips in there as well.
Oh yeah,
just in general.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I don't know if they're all legitimate, but there definitely are some some ways that are Disney certified ways to get free parking. For example, if you do have a reservation at a restaurant at a resort, for example, you are allowed to park at that resort. And if you do happen to go over to the parks after your meal or beforehand, well, that's totally legit. But then you've also just saved yourself, $14 for parking. So kind of things like that. You're playing the system, but it's not necessarily something that's going to get you thrown out of the park.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And other things like renting Disney Vacation Club points from members. It's another way that you can get stay at a very nice place like the Beach Club, and stay for less than a value resort. And again, this isn't something that Disney advertises or that the other books are going to tell you about, but they also don't crack down on it, and it's an accepted practice. So so I do talk about things like that too.
That's a really good idea. I like that one.
Right, we've had enough Disney for my liking now.
Shush. So you might be wondering why we've invited the author of a Disney book onto the show. Well,
I listened to your Mousecast, and Leonard was on there not that long ago, and he mentioned that he was visiting Universal, so I thought, I wonder if he would be interested in doing something for us.
Sure.
Right.
Definitely.
So Lee went ahead and contacted Leonard and sent a few emails back and forth, and he agreed to do a little Darkside of Universal for us. Now, Leonard, would you like to let us know what things you got up to on your visit to Universal Orlando?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I've tried not to get you to tell me anything, Leonard. I'm quite interested.
Well, I hadn't been there since, it had to have been maybe 94.
So Islands of Adventure won't have even been open then, was it?
No, it wasn't even open, and there are a lot of things different in the park. I'll get into that, but the reason why I just hadn't been there is because Disney takes us hostage from the airport, and they stick us on the bus and bring us to our hotel and with our luggage, and we just never leave the property because they make it so easy to do that. And that's really what I've been doing for a while. And this time I was like, well, I really want to see Universal. I really want to see the Space Center, Kennedy Space Center. So we ended up renting a townhome in Windsor Hills, which is a nice little resort vacation community, only about 10 minutes from Disney, and then maybe about 15-20 minutes driving from Universal, and got a rental car, a nice convertible, and kind of lived it up, and did go to Universal for 2 days, one day at the studios and one day at Islands of Adventure. And for the Islands of Adventure visit. I had Draven Starr, who's on the cover of my book.
Who unfortunately was supposed to be joining us tonight, but she couldn't get the time off well, and she's had a bereavement as well, hasn't she?
Yeah. So she's got to work right now, and probably wouldn't have been up to it anyway. But she's a huge Harry Potter fan, just massive Harry Potter fan, and so she really wanted to go there and obviously see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and so she came in and went on that trip with us, and that was obviously a little more raucous of an adventure than our day at the studios. So, but I actually posted a video online on my YouTube channel.
You did, yes, because you sent the email to us. I've watched about 3/4 of it. Should I say that? I should have watched all of it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just kind of us like drinking around the studios and doing various things. We, from the get-go, I wanted to taste the butterbeer, but was extraordinarily annoyed that there wasn't an alcoholic version of it, because it does say beer at the end.
Go on, Darren, go on. Hasn't you made your own?
Yeah, I have. It's kind of weak. You have to have quite a few of them, but butterscotch schnapps and cream soda works pretty well. Good. Good facsimile.
Well, we went to that bar in the back of Three Broomsticks and got the non-frozen, just the regular butterbeer, and brought the little airline bottles of booze with us. And I wanted to try 2 different kinds, so we got Jack Daniels, and then we got Captain Morgan's Spice Rum, and poured them in there. And what's crazy is that something in the alcohol reacted with the foam that they put on top, and just made the foam just go insane. It just started like overflowing the cup.
Some sort of portion.
So we were like, whoa. So finally, we're mixing it, stirring it all up, trying to get the foam to mix in with the booze, and because otherwise we're just going to have boozy foam. I don't know if alcohol actually got down into the liquid or if it just, mixed in with the foam. But anyway, the spice rum in there was great. You couldn't really taste the rum at all, and it just, made it alcoholic, which is probably how it should be. So that's highly recommended. But the Jack Daniels kind of overpowered the flavor of the butterbeer, and personally, all I was tasting was Jack Daniels. So I probably wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend the spice rum, definitely. But really, they should offer that. They should just offer that as an option. They'd make a lot more money. I know that.
I'm surprised they don't, because it's not like Disney, is it? Where because you can actually can't. Isn't there a hogshead beer? I'm sure, Darren.
Well, I believe so. I don't know if it's their own special brew. I have no idea. I was just on butterbeer when I was there.
I mean, they did have beer there. They did have alcohol there.
Strongbow. You can get some. Sure,
I'm
Ashley
not drinking
said.
Strongbow. Oh, good. That's what teenagers drink over here. No, you got a real ale.
Yeah, but so that was kind of a bummer. But like I said, I planned ahead, and that was cool. And yeah, it seemed like that was the place to get it. Was in that bar in the back of the restaurant, because the lines at the stands outside were just astronomical.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, I always advocate going to that. I always tell all my friends go to that bar instead of trying to sit in those lines, because it's crazy. Those ones will go wrap all the way around the Harry Potter section, and meanwhile there is no line at the one in the pub. So
yeah, exactly. I just walked right up and got some. So that was great. Definitely highly recommended. But so I guess as far as Darkside stuff, the one thing that we did do is legit had someone in a wheelchair that I was there with. She can walk, but just not long distances. Yeah. And but I'd heard that, yeah, that's great. You bring someone in a wheelchair, they're like, well, fantastic, everything's wheelchair accessible, so good for you. And we're not giving you front of the line passes like they do at Disney or whatever. So I I brought along a neck brace and made her put that on. And then we went to the customer service. So she's in a wheelchair and with a neck brace. And apparently that did it. She looked real pathetic, and they gave us this card with a barcode at the bottom and just said, how many days are we going to be there? And basically it was an express pass. We just went through the express pass line for every single ride, and it was great. So
cool. That's not bad when you consider it's like $85 per person a day for one ride on each ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and half the places they scanned the barcode, half of them they didn't, so we probably could have gone back on again for a lot of those rides. But it worked out really well, to the point where we showed up around 9:30 at the studios, and we were done by about 1:30. We just kind of blew through there because we got at the front of all the lines, so it was pretty wild. So I guess that's my tip. Bring a neck brace too, or maybe be bleeding out of orifices. I'm not really sure what it takes.
Could work.
We have children. We can do it with children and give them crutches and stuff.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other good thing about we had the handicap tag, so we got in the special part of the parking garage, which I guess you can also pay extra for. They have it.
Is that the preferred parking? Yeah.
Right. So we got into that area too, which was nice. And we still had to pay for parking, which, really ticked me off. But I couldn't find any way around that because apparently even at the hotels there, you have to pay for parking too.
Darren, you stayed at one that you could walk to. Did you have to pay for parking there?
Well, no, but that was off-site technically.
Right.
The Holiday Inn directly off-site, so you didn't have to park there.
So
but that was about 1.5 miles to walk.
So if you stay at the Hard Rock and stuff, you still have to park?
Yeah, I do believe you have to pay to park there.
Good grief.
Cheeky.
Yeah. Cheeky bleeps.
I nearly swore there.
Yeah.
So no way around that one. It was a bummer.
Great. The amount you're spending, you'd think they'd give you free
parking. Let's be honest,
parking.
those rooms aren't cheap either. Even Disney give you free parking.
Oh, God, and I thought you were tightly.
Oh, thanks very much. I am.
So trying to think, we didn't get the meal plan. I considered it, and I figured, I could probably eat enough pizzas to make it worth it. But what I realized when I got in the parks was the places didn't open till 11 a.m. So
which I find really strange.
Yeah, it's irritated us on a number of occasions.
Yeah, so we got there at 9-something, and we're gonna, we basically left around 1:32. So really wouldn't have given me much time to eat. And the other thing was, just the selection of food I didn't think was as good as at some of the other restaurants, and I didn't necessarily want to eat what they were offering on the meal plan. So, so whatever. Maybe next time I go, I'll try it. I've heard it's not, really a huge deal to share the food. If you have leftovers, the other person eat your leftovers, and I guess you could do that enough times to make it worth it. But I just didn't go there. So, and speaking of which, the whole layout of the park was weird. Getting there that early at the studios, like for example, the ET section where I guess it's the kids section.
Yeah,
it opened late. It didn't even open till 10. So
we don't understand that one.
Right.
People with kids, the kids are going to be up early. You're going to be in the parks early.
Sure. So I thought that was pretty weird. We ended up backtracking to go see ET. And then the most annoying thing was that none of the beer stands were open at 9 o'clock in the morning. And what is with that? I mean, seriously.
That's just not on. There was something seriously wrong there.
Ridiculous.
Let's be honest, especially the amount of
breakfast.
Brits over there now as well. They're drinking any time of the day.
Sure. And as well you should. So it didn't make any sense. That was a disappointment. But as far as the drinking stuff goes, I actually found this really cool website. I don't know if you guys, you probably have seen it. It's partythroughtheparks.com.
Yes.
I have not heard of that
You not heard
one.
of Party Through the Parks?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So they've got a review of basically every single place in both the parks that serves booze, and they kind of rank like if they're mixed drinks, like how much alcohol there are in them, like if it's worthwhile for the money that you spend and the amount of booze that they put in them. And they give you the drink menu for each place, and it was really neat. So I kind of was able to pre-plan where I wanted to drink before I even got there, which was actually very helpful. They also have all the happy hour times and what is offered for happy hour. Right. So for City Walk, that was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that site, partythroughtheparks.com.
Yeah, I'm just on it now.
I didn't realise you didn't know about.
No,
I
I've
told
never.
you about that one.
The other site that I found that was cool was orlandoinformer.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a crowd calendar, and the crowd calendar was, basically how I planned which days I wanted
It's
to
a very
go there.
handy device. Tool.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
I'm
I did.
not calling you a tool there, sorry.
I think they're about. I think they're about the only one that actually does a crowd calendar for.
That was the only one I could find.
So,
Yeah,
I think they are.
And I did download the Undercover Tourist app for the wait times for the rides. But to be honest, when we were there, it was the crowds were pretty low. And B, we had the express pass, so the wait times didn't really matter.
When was it there you were again, Leonard? It wasn't.
It was November 8th and November 10th. That was a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Yeah, we were there 2 years ago the same time, and the parks were dead.
Yeah, which was nice.
Oh,
So the other place that I went to was orlandocoupons.com, and they had some kind of discounts for some of the City Walk bars and restaurants.
Excellent.
You could print out. So that was cool. And then it's the only, I guess, I made reservations for Mythos online too with opentable.com, and that was a really neat place.
All right, I didn't know you could do that on Open Table. That's good to know.
Yep, so that worked out well for us because there actually was a pretty big crowd there waiting for, to get in to eat. Mm-hmm. And I like that place. We started drinking there that day. They had some, it was like a $5 drink special on one particular drink, and I had a few of those. And Draven had a martini, and that was a good way to spend lunchtime.
Oh, yes.
So
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. We got, that day at Islands of Adventure, like I said, we started drinking there, and then we had the butter beer, and then went over to City Walk, and that was the first time I'd been to City Walk because the day before at the studios, like I said, we got done so early that none of the bars opened up till 4 o'clock. So,
nice.
Which was disappointing. So we just went back. But that day, we did happy hour at the little Margaritaville stand with the airplane back there.
The Lone Pine something or other, isn't it? I should really know.
So they had good margaritas, and they were cheap because it was happy hour. And then we went over to Emerald's, which was very nice. And they had some happy hour drink specials as well as some appetizer specials, and we got a really nice cheese platter there, as well as some drinks. And then we went over to Pat O'Brien's because I had to try a hurricane.
Oh, yes, that's on my list.
Yep.
Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
True.
And we had coupons for that. It was a buy one, get one free deal, which is great because they're $11 normally each.
Wow.
Yeah, so it made them pretty reasonable with buy one, get one free. But they do have a lot of booze in them. I think that the guy told me they each had 4 ounces of rum in them, which is 2 shots. So that's pretty good.
Right, mental note, need to up my drinking then, because I'll be on the floor.
I will hold my hand up and say I'm a teetotaler, sorry.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't agree with me, I'm afraid. If I told you the story about the last time I drank
Nobody wants to hear that.
about a bottle and a half of Smirnoff vodka, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. That's too much.
I'm surprised I'm still married is all I'll say.
Maybe just have a bottle next time.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe he can just be the designated driver.
Yes, I think it works better for us, I'm afraid.
Much safer.
That's what the kids are for.
I don't think 12-year-olds are allowed to drive in any country.
Oh, one steers and one pushes the pedals. It's fine.
But we did have a designated driver, so that was nice because by the end of it, Draven and I were pretty toasty, and I figured it worked it out. It'd been like 7 drinks we'd had, so it was good that we had someone to drive us back to the town home. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all in all, it was it was a good trip, and I enjoyed it. I kind of missed some of the things that had been there when I was younger, when I was a teenager. I really liked the King Kong ride, and that had been, I guess, taken over by the Mummy, which was also really awesome.
Yeah. Did you get to ride Jaws at all when you were there?
We did ride Jaws.
Well done, because that's closing very shortly.
I heard that, yeah. And, it was totally different than it was when I'd ridden it last. I remember So I went there. I think it was pre-opening when they were doing tests for studios, and really, a lot of stuff was broken. King Kong, Earthquake, Jaws, like a lot of them just didn't work properly at all, and it was a pretty disappointing experience. Not, but luckily we went back a few months later and they'd gotten it together. We actually did get to ride Jaws, and I remembered one of the really cool parts was that he like took a bite out of the back of your boat and kind of spun you around.
Yeah.
And that was not there in this this rendition of it.
Yeah, because that's when you go into the boathouse now. And then even the end's changed, I know, because our other host, when he's here, Hunter, did a behind the scenes on it for us not that long ago, and he talked about all that. And at the end, now it bites down on the electric cable. It used to, like a gas canister or something, it blew up rather than... Which is a shame. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite...
being covered in shark guts.
Yeah. Kids were scared enough as it was.
Yeah, but it wasn't quite as good as I remembered because of those changes. And I actually talked to an employee who worked at the ride long ago when it was all broken down. And he said apparently the thing with the biting and the boat going around, it was on a turntable, he said. And that the turntable, the issue was that it would never line up properly when it turned back around, so the boat would basically be stuck. It wouldn't be able to get back on the track.
Oh, didn't Steven Spielberg get stuck on it for about 6 hours or something with his family?
Yeah, the first ride,
So yeah, I mean, it's a good ride, but I can't say I'm like horribly sad to see it go. I like King Kong a lot more, and I am sad that that's not there anymore.
Yeah, we never got to ride that.
Which is
it was cool. Yeah, you go past him at one point, and you smell his breath. It smelled like bananas.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
So
and right there at that point is where it broke down on the only time I was ever actually able to get on the ride. Yeah, we waited in line probably about 3 or 4 times going to Universal trying to get on there, and every time right when we get to the front, it would shut down.
Wow.
So, the one time we finally got on the ride, we got right to the banana breath, and it shut down right there.
Oh.
Nice.
They had to come out and cart us off the ride, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask
those fun ones.
Leonard, one of the sections in your book is places on Walt Disney World property to have a bit of alone time with your other half. Was there anywhere that... this is leading into... Tracy's got a little dark side story. It wasn't us, by the way, just before we get there.
All right.
I'm going to remind you of it.
That's right, I remember.
Did you notice anywhere that could be suitable for amorous couples to disappear
Get amorous.
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like they have as many kind of hidden away areas as a place like Epcot does. But like I said, parts of the park were pretty empty early in the mornings there. I don't know. I think you could probably hide away in the queue at ET, and that would be a pretty cool place too.
Behind a bush.
Yeah, because that was had all those trees and bushes, and it is a pretty nice place. I think it was romantic. So
I think Jurassic Park could possibly be a good area. There's lots of shrubs and trees and stuff there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Oh yeah, nothing there opens till 11 o'clock. So hey, you got the whole morning.
No one goes there anyway. Sorry to anyone who likes it. Tracy, I would say the toilets in Zeus Landing are a good place, aren't they?
Yes, I would say that the toilets in Zeus Landing were quite possibly the favourite place.
It was the second time we went, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We went into Zeus Landing, and Tracy decided to go for a wee.
I didn't decide. I needed to go. There's a big difference. So popped into the loos and
awesome.
Couldn't concentrate on what I needed to do for what was going on in the next cubicle.
Oh, yeah?
Hammer and tongs, shall we say. It was
Bearing
very
in mind
energetic.
this was about 10 o'clock in the morning as well. It wasn't late.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Good for them.
Fair enough. Just not Zeus Landing. It's a bit... If of all the areas you're going to do it, a kids' area.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm going to think for the Grinch.
Maybe that's what it was.
You know, that Cat in the Hat ride, as far as doing drugs, that would be one of my ones not to do drugs on before you go on that. Well, that was so trippy to begin with. The animatronic freaked me out of the Cat in the Hat. I was like, ugh.
It doesn't spin as round as much as it used to. It used to spin around a lot more. Apparently some kid fell out of it.
Oh wow. It was still enough.
Yeah,
I
wanted to bring up Zeus Landing, actually, and getting high in there. Because it's one of those, I've mentally walked around it and I can't decide whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. I think it really could be hit or miss.
You've got to think back to when we did it during Halloween Horror Nights with all the lights off and dry ice floating. That is a
Strange
freaky
little
place,
shadows of
not
things.
on drugs.
It really was. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. If I was on drugs, I would not move from that one place in Poseidon's Adventure where you got that water tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
I would stare at that for a day. Like, seriously.
Not that I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. None of us do drugs, by the way, just in case anyone's listening from the authorities.
That was amazing, and I would definitely...
Yeah,
I can only imagine being on drugs and seeing that. Be like, whoa.
Actually, do you know what? I think Toon Lagoon would be quite good.
Can you imagine doing like
and drugs.
Popeye and Bluetooth stoned out your head?
I giggle enough on that.
That'd be bizarre, wouldn't it? Just leaving Spider-Man on drugs would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm just thinking like just Toon Lagoon with all like the cartoons and the speech bubbles and
Yeah.
who knows who'd just start talking to you.
Maybe it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the aim of a theme park, though,
Yeah.
is like to simulate drugs.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you can simulate the on-drugs experience
Yeah.
through the whole park, then hey, there you go. Done it.
They do a pretty good job there.
Whereas the exteriors of studios, it's very tame and bland, isn't it, in comparison with islands?
Yep.
But then when you think of
What about the Mummy?
I was going to say doing the Mummy when
Yeah.
all the scarabs come out of the walls.
Yeah.
They're out to get me, man!
Or where their whole roof lights on fire.
Yeah.
That was
I
freaky.
love
Yeah.
that bit.
Cool, that bit.
Yeah, that
Or
was
even
very
E.T.
cool. Yeah,
E.T.
no,
would be
E.T.
quite... I imagine
They'd
that
be
would be...
really talking to you.
Oh
at
man,
the
he
end.
said my name. Did you hear that?
That's it. Leonard, did you ride E.T. when you were there?
Oh yeah, I think that's my favorite ride in either park. I just love it. I love the queue. I love the bright colors at the end when you're on his planet. I just really get a kick out of that ride.
Did you give them a dodgy name, or did you give them your own?
No, I did. I gave him my own. I should have said. I remember doing that, like saying, bend over or something like that.
Can you
when I was a teenager, but I totally forgot about that.
The team member going, excuse me, just do it.
I'm just thinking about his finger. You're high.
Whoa,
Whoa,
yeah.
look at his finger, dude.
Yeah.
I am going to now walk around the next time we go over and look at everything in such a different light.
There you go. No, I tell you one thing that did happen that was kind of dark side-ish that I hadn't experienced before was on Harry Potter. They say, first of all, great ride. I actually enjoyed the queue more than I enjoyed the ride, I think. But part of that might have had to do with the fact that they say secure all loose articles. Well, they really mean that.
Right.
Because I had my BlackBerry in my pocket of my pants, and at one point you tilt back, like almost like you're straight back, maybe even more than that, and that thing just fell right out of my pocket. And about a second later, they tilt you forward, and I caught it as it was going forward. Almost flew right at the. So the rest of the ride, I'm sitting there with my hands in my pockets, not being able to hold on to the rail.
I
because I'm
did
afraid
that
to touch it.
on Hollywood. The first time I rode Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, me and our oldest went on it because our youngest wasn't tall enough, and I'd given Tracy my phone and everything out of my pocket except for my wallet.
Oh.
Queued, got on it and thought, oh no, my wallet's still in my pocket, so I couldn't concentrate on enjoying the ride because I had my hand clamped to my pocket hoping that my wallet didn't come out.
Yeah. So that mine actually did come out, and I caught it just in time, and then was freaked out for the rest of the ride and getting really banged around because I couldn't hold on to the things. So they actually mean it when they say all loose articles. They're not joking around.
Well, it's funny that who was it? Was it Barb was telling us as well, and we've done it before. We had Barb Neferon from the Orlando Examiner, and I've heard the story before that at that point where you tip back, it broke. Apparently, that's one of the places it breaks down quite regular. So you're tilted slightly backwards. Now you can imagine that you've been sat there for 20 minutes with the blood slowly rushing to your head.
Yeah.
Some woman actually got her cell phone out of her pocket and called 911.
Wow.
that she was trapped on Harry Potter, and she was in it, and they had the police out and helicopters and the news people were there, and because Barb said to us, didn't it, she would have actually probably got off the ride quicker if she hadn't have called 911.
No.
Oh yeah, you can go on YouTube and see plenty of examples of that. There's plenty of people that have recorded video from their cell phones when the ride has broken down right there in that exact same spot. So
But what goes through somebody's mind that you'll go, "Oh no, I'll phone the police"?
right.
Who knows? I've stopped trying to second guess people. They're just weird.
Especially people on vacation in theme parks in Orlando.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone leaves the brains behind at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, funny thing happened actually at the end of the ride. We got off and Draven was, she's so emotional about the whole thing because she'd been in the books since she was a kid and, was so happy to finally ride. She's literally crying leaving the ride. And one of the team members, asked her, how she was doing, if she's okay. And she's just like, well, it's such a great experience. I love this forever. And the lady was like, well, if you want to go on this again and again and again, you just tell them that Tanya says that you can get back in the front of the line.
Cool.
So,
Wow.
there you go. If you cry.
Yeah.
If you want to go on it again, just cry.
All right,
a
so we got
Spew
neck
story.
braces and a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep that. How good's
Oh,
that? Yeah. See, a lot of the team members, we do a segment on the show called Spew, obviously referencing
It's not
Harry
drinking
Potter.
a lot.
But it's the Society for the Promotion of Employee Well-Dones. And because, generally Universal team members get a really bad rap.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of them are really good. We've had some
Yeah,
really,
we've had some
really
lovely
good ones, to
interactions.
try and give the ones that do go that extra step a bit of recognition. Because everyone knows that Disney team members are supposed to be the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But,
No, they were pretty good when we were there.
Good.
I didn't have any negative problems with any of them at all. So it
cool.
was nice.
Brilliant. Right, thanks very much, Leonard. That was brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
And I would just like to say, before we carry on, because we're going to do a little mini trip report at the end, even though you've answered most of the little questions
That's
we got there. We here at the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast do not advocate any of the things that Leonard has done.
Much.
But if anyone feels they want to try any of those things, then you can go ahead and drop us a line and let us know how it worked out for you.
Yeah. So, yep, as Lee mentioned, we're going to do a mini trip report. If that's okay, Leonard?
Sounds great.
Right, brace yourself. Here come the questions.
We've done a little mini tone down more. Obviously, we've already broached it. When was the last time? Before now, when was the last time you visited again? Did you say it was 95?
It had to have been 95, and at that point, they didn't have the garages. You just kind of parked right in front of the studios and walked right in, that was a great experience. The way it is now, it feels like you're going to the airport. I much preferred the old thing where you saw the big weenie, which was the globe, right there, and it really kind of got you excited about going to the park. And these days, it's like you're going through these moving walkways and this concrete tunnel, and I don't know. I didn't like that entry as much as the old days.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get
Me
accosted
either.
by
I've had
the
some bad experience?
Sorry. Did you get accosted by the credit card people?
Oh, no.
No, I didn't. No. Should I have?
When you
No,
go
it's
through the
fine.
first couple of moving, you might have. No, because they must have got.
Love the word
You
preferred
come up with the
parking.
word. No, there's like a big hub section in the middle of the moving walkways, a big circular open area before you go through into the main one that takes you down into the park. And then normally, every time we've been, they always have these people giving away free Universal bags if you sign up to their credit card. You've been
Oh
told
yeah,
it's like
they
you've
will
been-
run you down. They will literally run you down as you try to get past them. So.
Well, even if you say, sorry, British, doesn't always put them off.
An American credit card's not going to do much good for me, mate.
No, they weren't there. Maybe they got rid of that because people were complaining. Because that would have
Maybe.
made me mad.
Actually,
Yeah.
while we're on that subject, did you get accosted by any timeshare people inside the park then?
I saw they had some things, some booths and stuff, but no one came up to us about that either.
We had a guy last time over in Jurassic Park that would not take no for an answer.
Wow.
I started to get really mad. And if the kids hadn't been there, he would have found out just how mad.
Well, we did the first
I
time we
got-
went in 2004. A guy came up to us and he'd sort of mentioned about timeshares, and we said, "Look, really, we're not interested." He just went, "Oh, thanks for taking the time. That's it." And you thought, well, that's the way you, especially putting yourself inside the park. If anybody complains, it's different outside of the parks. you can hassle as much as you want, but when Universal have obviously let them into the park to push their product, if they start getting too pushy and people start complaining, then you go, look, it's not worth it, you might as well bugger off.
Yeah,
but he was really, really pushy. It was Hilton, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Was
It's
that
one of the
Jurassic
nice
Park?
ones, too.
What?
Was that in the Jurassic Park
Yeah,
area?
it was just as you come round the corner where that icy stand is.
And it was every time we had to walk past him, I was agitated.
He sort of looked and went, no, I'm not going to talk to you because you've already told me to sod off.
Yeah. I think he saw the look on my face the second time.
Because they were offering, like, giving the kids Universal dollars to spend and free breakfasts and this, that, and the other. And it's like, no.
If you did, like, a presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 3-hour one in the middle of nowhere, no way of getting back.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you can read my book.
Not doing that again.
Exactly. I will never do one of those again.
Actually,
read about my experience in my book. It was bad news.
Okay. Well, you said the parks back then. You missed King Kong the most. Were there any other shows or anything else in the park there that you and really enjoyed from last time that weren't there anymore?
Yeah, I really like the Alfred Hitchcock movie that they used to have at one point in it. So you'd see all these scenes from his movies, and then at one point you're wearing 3D glasses the whole time, and the screen just rips, and it looks like the screen's ripping, and out of the screen fly birds from the birds, and it looks like they attacked a projector, and it's all this chaos, and that was really neat. And along the same line, the Psycho House isn't there, and the old Hard Rock isn't there.
No, it's literally just got pulled down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it had been demolished when I was there or not, but I remember we used to be able to sneak into the park that way. You could get past the people. Basically, you could go through the Hard Rock restaurant. You could enter it from outside the park if you just wanted to eat there, but you could walk all the way through it and get into the parks if you could sneak past the people who were kind of guarding the entrance there.
Oh, no surprise they got rid of that then.
Yeah, no more. But yeah, those were the main things that I missed. Oh, and the Back to the Future ride, I know they replaced it with the Simpsons. I love the Simpsons. I'm a huge Simpsons fan, but I just wasn't feeling it.
Really?
The ride. I didn't think the ride was that great. The videos in the queue were really cool, but I don't know. I mean, when they pull down the side of the vehicle, like the doors on the side, it's a DeLorean. I mean, you can see that those are still the DeLorean doors, and it just made me miss the Back to the Future ride because I really like Back to the Future too. So, yeah, I
have the same feeling for sure.
Jason hated Back to the Future. Love the films, hated the ride.
Yeah,
that was my favorite ride in the park, and like Leonard said, my favorite show was the Alfred Hitchcock one. That was just amazing, and not seeing the Bates Motel or Mother's Mansion on the top of the hill and that was kind of like the twisted Magic Kingdom castle, Cinderella's castle, Universal was that mansion on top of the hill there, and it is kind of sad not having that anymore. But now that area is being cleared out.
I think the one ride that I would have liked to have ridden, or attraction, is the Ghostbusters one. We never got to see that.
No.
Oh, yeah. Ghostbusters show was great, for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. There were a few other ones, like the Hanna-Barbera ride wasn't there anymore. That wasn't ever that spectacular.
That's not even open at all at the moment, is it?
Was that where Jimmy Neutron was? Yeah.
Right.
Despicable Me is going to be.
I miss Jimmy Neutron. So out of the two parks, Leonard, do you have a favourite?
Yeah, I like the studios better.
Really?
It just might be a sentimental thing. Just from being there so much as a kid. And I thought Islands of Adventure was a little chaotic. We actually got lost at one point, which would never happen at a Disney park. It was going basically where you turn off where like the Betty Boop and all the old cartoon stuff was.
Yeah.
It looked like that was a dead end. It looked like that was kind of a cul-de-sac type thing. So we didn't go down there. We just kept going straight past like the Water Rapids ride and stuff, and then dead ended and couldn't figure out where we should have gone. So we had to backtrack and then go through there because there was no clear line of sight past the end of that street. You couldn't tell that it continued on. It looked like it just stopped.
Yeah, is that the where Wimpy's is, the burger place?
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I liked it. I mean, I thought it was great. But the other thing I didn't like as much about Islands of Adventure, especially in the winter months, is that there were like 3 or 4 rides where you were just going to get soaked.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to go on any of those because we didn't want to get wet when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
So I think that really cut down on the amount of rides that we could go on, which was a little bit of a bummer. So, yeah.
It's a shame because they are some of the best water rides as well.
Oh,
No, I believe it. They look cool. I like the fact that you could pay to squirt people to
Oh, yes.
piss people off. I saw some kids doing that. They looked like they were having a great time, like just shooting strangers with water, which was hilarious.
The ones on Dudley Do Right, the placed at a specific point where people have just come through the big splash, so they're generally brushing the water out the faces and stuff, and then come round the corner and get it straight in the face.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Apparently-
you can pay to harass people.
Apparently, one of the water cannons is more powerful than the others.
It was loot.
So it was Lou told us that. So I must find out which one.
All right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Idiot.
Leonard, did you have a favourite ride in each park from this time then?
Yeah, I mean, I still like E.T. at the studios, but I was actually really impressed with Men in Black.
Yes.
And I didn't want to. I didn't even want to press the shoot button. I just wanted to watch the ride.
Right.
Because I thought it was. First of all, I loved the outside and the queue of that ride. It was the whole World's Fair thing, which I thought was just really neat. It reminded me of the old Tomorrowland at Disney, which I just loved. And then it is a lot of neat theming in there. So I thought that was a surprise of the trip. Probably I wasn't expecting much from that, and it was a lot cooler than I expected.
Yeah, we love Men in Black.
Yeah, definitely
And
one of my
then-
favourites.
Yeah, and then Islands of Adventure. I love the queue at Harry Potter. That was my favorite queue easily. I actually liked the Spider-Man ride better than the Harry Potter ride. So maybe it was because of the 3D. I don't know. I thought it was pretty neat. So
That's getting an upgrade soon. They're re-rendering all the screens on it and stuff, and upgrading it to 4K HD.
yeah, cool.
But
a couple of the screens have already been upgraded.
I think, as far as I heard, there was only 2 of them hadn't been.
Right.
Well, it was pretty impressive. I wish the Harry Potter ride had been in 3D too. That would have been neat. But I understand that they had the actual physical things that you encounter.
Spider-Man's amazing. Pardon
Yeah,
the
it
pun.
was.
we haven't. The last time we went, the Wizarding World wasn't open, and so Spider-Man's still my favourite ride. But I'm like one of the biggest Harry Potter geeks, and I'm well expecting it to just make me cry. So
Yeah, like I said, the queue was brilliant. There was one point when the kids kind of appear, on this balcony in the queue, and at one point, one of them casts a spell, and it actually starts snowing in the queue. Like snow was coming down. That was really cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, I was impressed with that.
Yeah, and if you go through a couple of times, it actually changes. They'll do different stuff in that room. They make it rain, and there's a couple other surprises in there too. So
thank you for not spoiling the other 2 surprises.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet.
Okay. Were there any rides in either park that you particularly didn't like?
I thought Shrek was pretty terrible.
Really?
It's not really a ride. I mean, you sitting there. It was. First of all, the opening whole shtick that they give you had absolutely nothing to do with the movie that followed, which was that you were rescuing the pig and the Pinocchio and the mirror, and then that was not in the actual ride at all.
I think the pre-show is brilliant. The pre-show is far better than the actual show. Yeah,
I agree. If it had continued on that level, it would have been great. And then I also, I don't like being jabbed in the back, which is essentially what you're getting for the entire ride. It's not even a ride, but it was just fairly uncomfortable.
Those seats are pretty violent. I mean, we mentioned it a few times. The last time we did it, there was only about 8 people in the whole thing, and those seats were moving.
And they're rock solid, and there's some water effects in there too, so there's no padding on them of any kind.
Yep.
This is like the most uncomfortable theater ever.
Yeah, so that would be my low on my list. That's it.
Okay. Anything at Islands of Adventure?
No, everything there was really pretty cool.
Okay.
I was impressed.
Leonard, did you buy a wand?
I didn't buy a wand, but Draven bought 2 wands. She bought a Bellatrix Lestrange wand.
Cool.
I think that's it. And since she bought one that she said it had to do with her birthday. She said they have
Yeah.
12 or 13 that correspond to dates in the year, something like that. And she got one that corresponded to her birthday. And then she bought a cloak, a Slytherin cloak, and then she wore the cloak around the park and kept pulling. Apparently, it had a secret compartment for the wand, and she kept pulling the wand out and shooting people with it. But,
Nice.
and she's got a legit dark mark tattoo on her arm. Like she actually has it tattooed. And people kept asking her, like they thought it was an airbrush thing where they could get it. Like, and she had to keep explaining, no, this is a real tattoo. Like you can't get this here. But then I'm thinking like they should offer it there. Like they should totally have kids be able to get that on their arm.
Yeah, I must admit I'm considering a tattoo at the moment, and it is something I'm considering the dark mark.
Wow. There you go. Yeah,
It's
hers
quite
looks great.
sad.
And the cool thing was the team members there actually reacted to it. Like if they'd see it, they knew what it was. I guess they're, fans of Harry Potter to work in that land.
Yeah.
And so they would react appropriately, with horror or, being scared. And that
brilliant.
was pretty cool to see that. So,
Excellent.
yeah, it was
Oh,
neat.
that's great.
I think you just convinced Lee.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. I never even considered it that way. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's doing it with Sharpie at least.
Raymond's a pretty good artist. I'll just get him to draw one on my arm.
You wuss.
Now, did you try butterbeer, Leonard, without any of your own additives?
Yeah, we both tried a little bit of it before we put the booze in, and then the other person we were with also got one of the frozen ones. So we all kind of rotated and got to try it with and without booze, and we didn't put booze in the frozen one, so we got to try that without.
So, out of the non-frozen and the frozen, which did you think was the better of the two?
I like the non-frozen better.
Because you can have booze.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That definitely helped. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty heavy stuff. That foam is really filling. So it it's not like a light drink by any means. But it was good.
Good.
I'm looking forward to trying it.
Yes.
And having my insulin shot afterwards.
Jeez.
I'm not diabetic, it's just apparently it's got that much sugar in it, you need one.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, other than Mythos, did you eat anywhere else in the parks?
Yeah, we ate there, which is, and Mythos was very good, highly recommended. And then we ate at, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like a burger joint in the studios, where you could I don't know, make your own burgers or whatever.
Richter's.
And they also had like
Is it
this,
Near Disaster?
what was it?
Is it Near
Yeah.
Disaster?
It was, and it had an earthquake theme to it.
Richter's
So-
Burger Company.
Where you can
Yeah, Richter Burger.
top yourself
Yep.
with
Fixing
the fixings bar. Sorry.
Anyway.
Just makes me laugh.
Exactly. I saw that. I saw the toppings bar, and I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
this is obviously the place where I should eat." And then they had this this crazy soda machine where you could, pretty much pick whatever wild kind of soda you want, cherry, vanilla, Sprite, and I don't know. They had all these weird combinations you could get. You press a button on the machine, and it would offer you just, I don't know how many combinations, thousands of different types of soda you could get. That was pretty cool.
We are so eating there next time.
Oh, then we have to eat as
Definitely.
many places as we can next time we
Yes.
Yes, you're doing it for the podcast
go.
now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll give us a discount if we do a review and not say it was.
Will the podcast pay for my diet group then? When I
I
come
don't
back?
think they do Slimming World in America, do they?
No, will the podcast pay for it? For me to go back?
Maybe.
And I've put on 4 stone.
Maybe.
Hey, it'd be the best 4 stone I'd ever put on.
So now it's been 16 years since the last time you visited. Do you think you'll visit it on a more regular basis now then?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't quite get that same magical feeling that draws me back to Disney.
Yeah.
But again, I would like to go back there, so that says something.
You need
I
to,
probably
because there's
won't.
all those water rides still you need to ride.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe I'll do it again in June. I probably won't be every single time I go, because I do like the convenience of just staying in one place and having someone else drive me around everywhere. But I'll definitely be going back. And I've got a few friends who are ex-employees there who can kind of show me some behind the scenes things that I wasn't able to hook up with this time. So I'd like to do that too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll pencil you in for June then.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay then, Leonard. Just want to say thank you very much for joining us on the show.
You're welcome.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It has been really good.
It's been really good fun. So I'm now handing over to you to give your book and website a nice big plug.
All right. Well, the book is The Darkside of Disney. You can find it on Amazon. It's available for the Kindle. It's also at the Apple Store for the iPad. And my website is www.darksideofdisney.com. And that's got links to videos of me doing all sorts of crazy stuff and blog entries about me doing crazy stuff. And so check it out.
Yes, your video that you sent me, Leonard, I will post on our Facebook page as well.
Yes.
If that's okay.
Oh, it's great. Thank you.
Also, anybody who lives in the UK, there's no excuse not to get it on Kindle, because if you've got a smartphone, you can get the Kindle app, and it's about £2.40, I think.
Yes. I read it on my
pretty
phone.
reasonable.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you still doing the thing with the pack of candy cigarettes, or is that all dried up?
No,
now?
I am. Yeah, if you order it from the website, then it comes with a pack of Darkside of Disney candy cigarettes, and for people in the UK, just charge a little bit extra for shipping, because I'm actually shipping those out myself. So yeah, you could definitely get it from the website too. Yep.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. So everyone should go definitely check out Leonard's book. Like I said, we got plenty of options there, so you have no excuse not to. And it's definitely a great book. It's one of my favorite ones, especially my favorite one about Disney. And thank you again, Leonard, for taking the time out to talk to us.
You're very welcome.
So that'll bring us to the end of another show.
Yep.
We'd be finishing up. We'd just like to thank Leonard for coming on. It was brilliant, and we're so glad he took the time out to do the bits he did for us. It was really good. He's a really good guy.
Yeah. Go and buy his book.
Buy his book. He beat me to it. So, that's it.
Next show will be out on the 23rd of December.
My birthday.
All right. Lee's birthday.
Crickets.
Oh, hey.
That's bad enough. Your birthday's right before Christmas anyways. Feel so bad.
This is the day
Well, I was
before.
supposed to say, listeners, if you're going to be sending birthday gifts and greetings to Lee for the 23rd, my birthday is actually the 22nd, so don't miss me out either.
Darren, listen, we might as well. When's yours?
September 22nd, so
There
you've
you
already
go,
missed it.
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
everybody now knows for next time.
Yeah, you can plan for next year.
Absolutely, that's a lot of saving up for Darren's gifts, people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, the next show's out the 23rd of December, and it'll be our Christmas show.
Yep, so good night, Internet.
And see you later, listeners.
And ta-ta from me.
And remember, live the adventure.
That does it for another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Between shows, we'd love for you to get in touch. So email us with your spews, funny schmitz, comments, questions, and news to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Keep up with what's going on every day by following us on Twitter at UUOPodcast, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/UUOPodcast, follow us on Instagram and Pinterest at UUOPodcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/UUOPodcast, and don't miss a show by subscribing to us on iTunes, and please leave us a review. Not an Apple user? Then head over to uuopodcast.libsyn.com and subscribe to the feed while you're there. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio and at micepod.com. Come find us on our partner site, micechat.com, join the forums, and say hello. So thanks for listening, and remember, be adventurous.
This has been a micepod.com presentation.
Mice Chat.